Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to the channel of upright men and women. Guys, it seems that I had greatly underestimated Dr. Andrew Michael Holness, Jamaica's Prime Minister. I judged him wrongfully. I keep underestimating that man and his abilities and his capabilities. I mean, he surprised me with the running of the Jamaican economy and what he could have done in that respect. But I still did not see him as a strong enough leader to stand up to the United States like a Michael Manley. But guess what? One of the most incredible, far-reaching, non-negotiable, and non-compromising diplomatic showdowns have been won by Jamaica. And Andrew Michael Holness may stop underestimate you now. Trust me. Not knowing what I know now compared to what I had known 24 hours ago. Guys, yesterday I got a call from someone who claims to be working for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yes, me little dibby YouTuber with only 40,000 subscribers got a call from somebody in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Well, I cannot prove that that person worked with that ministry, but I have absolutely no reason to doubt that it came from that ministry based on the discussion that I had had with that individual and what that person took my email and had sent to me. Apparently, someone had sent my video that I did pertaining to Andrew Holness buckling under pressure and being submissive and subordinate to the United States. And that someone, having viewed the video, had a short conversation with me. Now, I'll go as far as to say it's a female. But for reasons she quoted, which I totally understood, she did not want to go on air as being my contact person. Anyway, she said that there were some things about the matter that I clearly had not understood. She said that over the past 4 weeks, Kamina Johnson-Smith, Jamaica's Minister of Foreign Affairs, has engaged the government of the United States and particularly the office of the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, in discussions pertaining to that threat that had come from the government, their government. She said that during those engagements, Jamaica's position on the matter of the Cuban doctors had been clearly stated, that there could be compromises and there were several avenues for compromisation, but that no arrangements could have been made and no decision could have been reached in which Jamaica would have given up the arrangements with Cuba to have Cuban doctors here. The person said that in itself was non-negotiable. Totally, absolutely non-negotiable. The person also sent me a clip of something that Marco Rubio had said after their after his closed door meeting with the Prime Minister. And I will be playing that clip for you momentarily. But basically, in a nutshell, it seems that we had underestimated the Jamaican Prime Minister. Now, I have a number of things to say about this, because this revelation has changed quite a number of things on a geopolitical scale. Because it seems that what Dr. Holness has done In other words, the way he has handled this situation has now graduated him from a simple prime minister into the ultimate statesman. And I'm going to be speaking on that momentarily, but first, please take a look at this clip. This is what Marco Rubio, the foreign minister of the United States, had said, and I have every reason to believe that it is true. And I'm going to tell you why, but watch the clip first and then come back to me and let's discuss this. Big people business.
Doctors. Because this is not about the provision of medical assistance. We have no problem with medical assistance. We have no problem with doctors. We have a problem, and I'm not speaking about Jamaica. We've discussed this today about, following international labor standards and the like, but I'm just talking about this program in general, how it's operated around the world. And how it's operated around the world is that basically the doctors are not paid. The doctor, you pay the Cuban government. The Cuban government decides how much of anything to give them. They take away their passports. They basically operate as forced labor in many places. Now, there are places that have better labor standards. Perhaps Jamaica is one of those, and that's fine. But I'm describing generally what the program has been. It has operated in that way in many parts of the world and placed these people in tremendous danger. And so I think we can all agree that the trafficking in labor, be they doctors or farm workers, is not something that we would want to be supportive of, and we find that to be an egregious practice on the part of the Cuban regime. Now, every country operates their program differently. And obviously, because of our relationship with Jamaica, we're going to engage with them on that and talk about it further and have a better understanding. Perhaps none of this applies in the way it's handled here, but generally, that's the problem with the program. It's not that they're Cuban doctors. It's that the regime does not pay these doctors, takes away their passports, and basically it is, in many ways, forced labor. And that we cannot be in support of. Again, not speaking about here in particular, but in general about the program.
Now, if you want to know what is an epitome of diplomatic compromise is, this is it. First of all, since when has the United States cared about human rights or about labor laws, cared about people having their passports confiscated? America confiscates its own citizens' passport if they fall out of line also. And when it comes to labor laws, they are the ones who have Africans in Africa working in all the mines for pennies, literally penny, the little 1 cent them, while they are raking out all of the minerals out of African soil and sharing it with France, the ultimate parasite. Since when they care about humanitarian issues? How many thousands of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been killed by bombs sent by the perfect parasite to Israel? The country who had planned the most coups and democratically elected governments in the world, the country that has assassinated the most prime ministers, the country that has assassinated the most presidents across the world. I go come now, I go feel little sympathy for a few Cuban doctors who the Cuban government are exploiting. Really? Trust me, them back off for other reasons. Because it seems that our Prime Minister realizes its strength, and the US has come to realize that it's losing its grip and it has to back off. Now, you know why I would say Andrew Holness is a statesman par excellence? Instead of coming out in the way that those other Caribbean countries had come out openly and push back publicly against the position and the threats of the United States, Andrew employed the services of his foreign minister. He did not engage them directly himself. And he secretly tell them, say, listen, look here, this is off the table. Don't even think about it. But what he did not make it public. So I honestly thought that he was caving in. Not only was caving in, had caved in, but him did too shameful and him did too coward to come out, come say it. Because I was figuring that the reason why Andrew don't say nothing is because he's afraid and he was seeking all kind of ways to appease the perfect parasite who made the threats. But guess what? Guess what I'm thinking now? Because Andrew Holness did not engage them directly, but did all of the thing through the diplomatic channels within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the US felt slighted and saw where the wind was blowing. Because guess what? Any direction that Jamaica goes, the rest of the Caribbean goes and there'll be no coming back. Because let us not forget that the biggest trading bloc in the world is not Europe and the United States. It's BRICS. And I don't want to go into BRICS because everybody on this channel is supposed to know what BRICS is. And the perfect parasite knows that if Jamaica heads into BRICS, then the rest and the rest of the Caribbean follows, which they certainly would. Then the international standing and prestige of the perfect parasite would be in the dust. Because it means that they would have allowed Russia and China to come into the Caribbean and poach all of them little friend them round them and run gone with all of them friend. So the fact that Jamaica stood up, the United States had to back off. Now, I can't really say everything that the person had told me, but what I got to understand, that Andrew not saying anything about the matter publicly was a diplomatic masterstroke. What he wanted to do was to ensure that he leave enough room within the Jamaican sphere of influence where the United States would be willing to make certain compromises and save face by not feeling that Jamaica had gone up against it publicly. I now suspect that the reason why Marco Rubio flew into Jamaica so quickly was because he felt that Jamaica was slipping away from the sphere of influence that America has built up in the Caribbean over the past 70 or so years. And the perfect parasite knows, that if they lose Jamaica, they lose the Caribbean. So, Andrew Holness, Dr. Holness, knowing this, on behalf of the Jamaican people, has played the ultimate diplomatic game and has won. I'm telling you, the reason why I couldn't see all this is because I'm a hothead. But Andrew let cool heads prevail. That's why me could have never turn a diplomat, because me tell people it straight. Me tell people what me think about them. And when them keep up efforts, me I tell them plain. I'm going to say it publicly. That's me. Therefore, I could never have achieved what Andrew Holness achieved during Rubio's visit. Because basically, the US came away from that meeting with nothing whatsoever. Jamaica came away with everything. Its dignity and its prestige is 100% intact. I'm at another 10% on it, or another 1,000%, whichever you prefer. Our health system is safe in terms of the fact that we will not lose any of our Cuban doctors. And guess what? We will keep the Chinese and the help that the Chinese are getting. And I have no doubt that though America don't help nobody, they are likely to put some investments in Jamaica now because they would want to compete with the Chinese. Because I'm quite sure, say, if Andrew I go keep the Cuban doctors, him I go keep the Chinese them, and not one iota of Chinese investment or economic cooperation is going to be turned down. So America salvaged the little thing that he could have gotten, and things ended just fine. Andrew boy, me owe you an apology, man. Dr. Andrew Michael Holness, you the man. You the man this morning, brethren. I saw me stay, you know. Me give man him due when him whatever him due is. And today I wake up this Friday morning, March 28, 2025, and I must say this is one of the proudest days I've ever had in my life being a Jamaican citizen. Thank you, Dr. Michael Holness. Enough respect, sir.